US President Donald Trump is set to arrive in Britain later today for a second state visit. Mr. Trump will be treated to royal pageantry and a state banquet tomorrow, followed by a meeting with the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Thursday. Discussions expected to focus on investments, trade and a $10 billion package focused on energy and technology. Downing Street framing Mr. Trump's visit as a display of, quote, unbreakable friendship between the two nations, but thousands already readying for protest nationwide against that visit of the American leader. Stuart Smith covering developments for us, live for CNN Live from London. Stuart, second-term US presidents usually not given such pomp and pageantry during their second state visit to the UK. Britain doing that, what's it hoping to achieve?
That's right. More ordinarily, a second state visit wouldn't take place. It would be perhaps afternoon tea with the monarch, for example. But one reason being given for why this is an exception is that Donald Trump achieved a non-consecutive win. He was president, then he was not president, and now he's president again, which is one explanation being given. But I think more realistically here in London, politicians know that Donald Trump is a very transactional man and one who is keen to accept any dose of flattery. And so there seems to be the case here, the belief that as long as Donald Trump, personally, the man, is with a good relationship with Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, the royals and also British officials, then that will mean positive things for the UK-US relationship more generally. And Donald Trump has suggested this earlier when he was in the UK and Scotland to visit his golf courses. When asked about whether the UK was protected from higher tariffs, he said the UK is very well protected. You know why? Because I like them. That's their ultimate protection. But there will be business deals as well to go along with the pomp and ceremony that Donald Trump can take back to Washington and try to sell to his base as another successful trade deal done by the president. For example, the parent company of Google, Alphabet, has promised a $6 billion investment into UK artificial intelligence. We've also heard that there's a £500 million investment coming from BlackRock into new data centres in the UK, as well as other deals to be done on nuclear power. All things Donald Trump can do to say that he is doing business globally around the world, and also, for example, can show photographs of him meeting, for example, the King, as he has become for the first time.
Pomp and pageantry, but protest as well. We're already seeing a very large pictorial protest near Windsor Castle. What's the situation like on managing protest?
Yeah, absolutely right. So that's been unfurled outside Windsor Castle on the lawn there. A photograph of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, the American paedophile. And so this is something that is likely to follow Donald Trump, especially after the revelations about the extent of the friendship between the UK ambassador to the United States, Peter Mandelson, who also had a friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. It's something that may come up during a press conference on Thursday. But protests more largely likely to be taking place in London on Wednesday. Those will be the bulk of the main anti-Trump protests, with around 34% of Britons, polling suggests, against a state visit for Donald Trump a second time. And more generally, around 61% of Britons say they do not like Donald Trump. But politicians seem to feel it's worth it in order to advance UK interests. And it's certainly something that Donald Trump may not even see, considering the fact that he's travelling via two different locations around the country via helicopter. But certainly for the UK protesters here against Donald Trump, it's an important part of the message they want to send to this government, and indeed politicians too, such as the leader of the third largest political party in Great Britain, Ed Davey, will be boycotting a state banquet that he was invited to over Trump's stance on Gaza.
Stuart Smith there live from London for CNN as Donald Trump pays his second state visit to the United Kingdom.